We were flying from Nairobi, flying into New York, and it's a 15-hour direct flight from Nairobi to New York. And along the journey, you can imagine being on a 15-hour flight. Nairobi, I was going to preach in New York for a conference, and I was with my PA. And as along the way, after flying for about 8 hours, you know, the pilot announced everybody, he gave that call for everybody to fasten their safety belt, and he said there is going to be a heavy turbulent weather and thunderstorms. And you can imagine there is no place of return. Amen. Tell your neighbor, there is no place of return.
There's no place of return.
And I remember the first thing that happened is that we were on this height, and because of the thunderstorms that were there, because the weather was so bad, I remember in one instant the flight just moved like from this height. Suddenly you can imagine that feeling. The flight dropped to this, and the whole aircraft, everybody was like, Jesus! Others were shouting their mother's name, others were shouting different things, others were repenting. And at that instant, my PA was holding her head. She was saying, oh my God, it will not end like this. And I looked at her and I said to her, we have a covenant of protection and preservation. And I told her, if there is a God in heaven, we cannot be preaching the gospel and we die in an aircraft. And you know, it became worse. The pilot said the turbulent weather is going to take 1 hour. Bad turbulent weather. That was the worst flight we have ever had. And we continued to pray. People were in a panic mode in the entire flight. And my personal assistant asked me, how come you look so calm and you can see death is calling? I told her, we cannot die by accident. We cannot die by witchcraft. We cannot die by evil arrow. We cannot die when our feet are taking the gospel. I told her we have a covenant of protection and preservation. And suddenly after 5 minutes, remember the pilot had announced that the turbulent weather was going to go for more than 1 hour. Suddenly he said, everything has stabilized, you can relax, you can unbuckle your seatbelt, and you can be served whatever you want. Because as we were in the air, I was saying, oh Lord, remember your covenant of protection and preservation. I want you to know, even in the storms, don't panic in the storms. What is above you is below God. You have the covenant of protection and preservation. Somebody say, oh Lord, oh Lord, activate your covenant of protection and preservation.
Protection and preservation.
Even the